I have student loans that I'm working to pay off. I feel like it's the biggest burden on me at this point.
The Regions Next Step project is helping real customers like Sierra confidently take their next step in life.
Going to Regions Bank is very important for me because I get to sit down face-to-face with people and they will educate me about my financial situation.
Watch real Next Step stories and plan your own at regions.com/Sierra.
I'm ready to take my next step.
Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC. Paid appearance by an actual Regions customer telling her real story.
It's a football Sunday doubleheader. First in Green Bay, the Packers face the Lions.
Got it! Touchdown!
Then at MetLife Stadium, the Giants host the undefeated Patriots. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. Passion, opinion, must-hear radio. This is the Paul Finebaum Show. And now, Paul Finebaum.
Final 2 hours of our program. Delighted you are with us. Appreciate Marcus being here. Also, Reggie Ragland, and certainly a very emotional beginning today with the Navy coach talking about what it means to play for one of the academy schools. We'll get back to your calls at 855-242-7285. Also, Bill Hancock in the bottom of this hour on the first college football playoff poll. Let's check out Ryan next up in Knoxville. Ryan, thank you. Good afternoon.
Hey, Paul. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
I just had just a quick little scenario I wanted to give you. But before that, I've been on the phone for about an hour now, just waiting, being patient and everything, and just wanted to say something about the whole Iowa thing, and everybody can think what they want about them and have their different opinions. But I'd just like to say here in Knoxville, we'd be welcome to have them back to Neyland Stadium for round 2 if they wanted to play another SEC team. But no, I just wanted to give you kind of like a devil's advocate situation. I am an SEC fan, diehard Tennessee fan, but I know that things are starting to shake up a little bit. So with that being said, you got Alabama sitting at number 2 right now, but then after that you've got LSU and Florida, I believe, 9 and 11, I believe. So what happens, in your opinion, if Alabama loses to Auburn? We know that's always a chess match, no matter what the records are. Alabama loses to Auburn. So that puts LSU, if they win out, assuming they win out, in the SEC championship game against Florida. What do you think the odds are, just off that one Alabama loss, if it happens, that an SEC team can still somehow make it into the playoff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to say today, but I will say, based on what we saw last year from the committee, they put a heavy premium on conference championships. Mm-hmm. I believe either, this is as of today, I believe either LSU or Florida, should they be a one-loss team and should they be the SEC champ, would get in. It's not an absolute, but I feel pretty comfortable they would. You would gain so much by beating the other side in the SEC championship game. Now, again, Florida cannot lose again. That would hurt it. Yeah. I mean, let's say Florida lost to South Carolina or to FSU, and then LSU goes in there with one loss and beats them. It would be a muddied water. It wouldn't be a sure thing, but. I think as long as we're talking one-loss teams, the SEC champ would get in.
Yeah, I think that makes it just a little bit harder. I know this is all hypothetical, and honestly, as a Tennessee fan, I can't really stand Bama much, but I don't see Bama losing again as much as Ohio State. I know I've got some Ohio State buddies that are hungry for them again, and as it stands right now, they may get them in the first round again. But I don't think Alabama's going to, but I like to see, I guess, if worse comes to worse. And, Florida, I think they've probably got the best chance to lose another game. I know they've been playing good even with last week, somehow finding the win. But Florida State, really good team. And South Carolina, Tennessee saw this past week, they got nothing to lose, and they're playing hungry. So I guess LSU, I mean, they're one loss. I guess I just kind of think about it sometimes in numbers. I see LSU sitting at 9, so my first instinct.
Yeah, but you just Brian, you just can't get hung up on it right now because these things move very quickly. But the problem, though, I think for LSU is they don't have a lot of great wins left ahead. I mean, they would beat a four-loss Arkansas team, a 3-loss Ole Miss team, and then A&M coming in there with who knows how many losses by then. So it's not a guarantee. I mean, I can hear the Danny Cannells and Joey Galloways of the world going crazy. I'm giving you my impression today. I can't tell you what I would think in 2 or 3 weeks. But thank you very, very much, and I'm sure our next caller will tell us there's no chance of Florida or LSU being in consideration. Right, Jerome?
Hey, Finebaum, you took the word right out of my mouth. I don't know how in the world you figured that out. You know that? I have no earthly idea, man. We're going to pour some cold water on Florida so they can snap back in reality. But, you know, they ain't hitting on nothing for real. You know, I don't understand why all these LSU fans still calling in after Saturday want to know why Les Miles didn't do this right here, Finebaum. So listen, let me ask you something. Texas A&M, Georgia, probably a lot more action that same question. You know, we asked that question in the Ole Miss game, but I tell you what, Finebaum, I don't even know what they thinking about, but you know what? The problem is they're in the SEC. You know what? Get out the SEC. You don't stand a chance, Finebaum. You know what? I don't tell these people. Unless you don't. They had their chance Saturday. You know what? We paid them to get out the plane, the bus, the taxi, or whatever they got to touch loose in. We paid them. They $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. They got paid to get dressed and get on the football field, and we took care of the rest, Finebaum. Hear me? That's it. That's all. They ain't got to worry about no national championship. They not national champions. They're your comeback kids. You just tickled to death over Auburn now. Why, Finebaum?
Jerome, nothing like a broken record every day, but thank you anyway. Fred is up next in Texas. Hey, Fred, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call. You know, Jerome reminds me of that guy who owes a bookie money. When his teams lose, you don't see him or hear from him. And when his team wins big, boy, you can't shake him. Yep, I got a thought on the Big 12. They're wondering, why aren't we getting love from the playoff committee? Well, I think I may have an answer. This is breaking news. Just came out. A lawsuit was just filed against the New Orleans Saints and defensive coordinator Rob Ryan. The lawsuit is alleging that the Saints are giving up 30 points a game, the most in the league, and the Big 12 is suing for the immediate return of the Big 12's defensive playbook. That may have something to do with it. LSU, my team, look, we got to bounce back this weekend. I've been hearing a lot. Paul, you've been taking the calls about Georgia and Mark Richt. Here's an interesting stat. When you look at current coaches, Mark Richt is 17th with a 736 winning percentage. Les Miles is 19th with a 730 winning percentage. It's even better. He's got a 79% winning percentage. Les Miles does at LSU. But here's what a caller like that called in last week said. Georgia might get 10 wins this year, but it won't be the right wins. And you got to have the right wins. And when we're losing to Alabama over and over again, and look, I tip my hat to Jerome and all the Alabama fans. They earned it. You know why? They whipped our tails up and down the line. But there was no surprise in terms of what they were going to do. We knew last year, the year before that, what Alabama was going to do. And a 790 winning percentage wouldn't be good enough for Pat Summitt, Coach K, Bob Knight, Popovich, or Saban without the commensurate titles that go along with it. And I know that Les isn't satisfied. You know, he kind of reminds me of George Bush. He's loyal to a fault. You remember that line? You're doing a heck of a job, Brownie.
Oh, yeah.
When New Orleans was still a mess, and that defense, we need more talent on the line, and that offense is still, look, fans are sophisticated. They know the difference between a rental win against Friendship Junior College and another top 10 team. So the reason your show is so popular, Paul, I'm closing out as I get ready to take my seat, as any good minister would say, the local papers won't write about what your fans are saying. They see what they see, and it comes down to who you're going to believe, your local sports writers who want to stay in good with the coaches or your own eyes. We see what we see. We see Bama looking great. We see them rotating 14 defensive linemen, and LSU rotates 8. We need better talent. Alabama, tip our hat. You got Nick Saban. He's doing a heck of a job. Heck of a job, Saban. Thank you, Paul. Love you, man. Great show.
Thank you, Fred. Really do appreciate it. Butch is next up. Butch, thank you, and good afternoon.
Yes, Butch. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Finebaum. Yes, I was just going to say, I don't know if we can get by Mississippi State. They're a pretty good ball team, and I think Alabama might be favored by 10 or whatever. But Mississippi State's a pretty good team.
Yeah, they are.
And I just want to say we can't go by just, Alabama goes up and down. They have a good game and a bad game. And Memorial Day and Mr. Finebaum, are you there?
I'm here, Butch.
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, what do you think about Stanford, Notre Dame? Let's see, who else is up in there? Ohio State. Do you think we can beat them? Or
Well, I'll tell you, Butch. I don't want to sound like a coach, but you do have to look at the whole board and come to conclusions. But right now, I think we still have 3 weeks left, and I know one thing: the Big 12. Everyone plays each other. The SEC, you have Alabama with, I think, 2 very difficult games left, and then Florida. So why worry about New Year's Eve when we haven't even made it to Thanksgiving yet? Appreciate the call. Larry is in Missouri. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Mr. Finebaum, how you get along today?
Pretty well.
Hey, great. Hey, I want to be like everybody else and definitely wish all them veterans a happy Veterans Day. That greatest generation, there's getting to where there ain't too many of them left, but we owe them all a big debt of gratitude. I will say I've been wanting to call in since Monday, but you're not going to believe it, but somebody offended me at the grocery store on Monday, and I've been laying in bed all week long. I mean, I can't believe we live in such a mean world out here. I mean, I'm going to have my daddy doomed just so I can yell and blame him for all my problems. I mean, I certainly couldn't be this fouled up on my own. But the last thing I'll say, and the only topic today, I mean, this committee, I mean, Jesus, they make the BCS look like that Farrah Fawcett poster. I mean, that's the craziest thing ever. I mean, these guys, I mean, they don't re-rack, they just re-screw you. I mean, there's no way in the world that you can put anybody, Oklahoma State's number 4 from what you saw with your own eyes. I mean, these guys are so disingenuous. I mean, you might as well get Whitey Bulger sitting on that thing. Really, Dre.
By the way, he may be on the committee for all we know.
Hey, Dr. Dre summed it up best. This ain't nothing but a G thing. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for the call. We still have plenty of time to go. We'll talk to Bill Hancock. He's the executive director of the College Football Playoff. He'll join us in about 15 minutes. Reggie Ragland in the last hour. Marcus Spears was here as well. Your phone calls next.
Mom, I can't.
We welcome you all back to the program. It's been a good one on a Wednesday afternoon. We're taking more phone calls, more guests, and just got a lot of recap from last night's college football playoff poll 2, and certainly some great remembrances today on Veterans Day. Bobby is in Birmingham. Bobby, thank you, and good afternoon.
How you doing today, buddy?
Doing great, my friend.
Hey, I want to wish all my fellow veterans a happy Veterans Day. I didn't get a chance to make it to the parade today. I usually make it, but my little compadre was under punishment, so we didn't make it. I want to make a couple of comments. Hey, old Bobby from Baton Rouge talking about Les Miles. He could have played inside the box, outside the box, across way the box. He still had that ass whipping. And if I had anything to do with Gus Malzahn, I'd fire Gus Malzahn. Because the game he won last week, Texas A&M, they had been all wounded for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And the quarterback thought his team had on white jerseys. And then Gus Malzahn runs an arena football play where he takes a 4'3" running back and hides him behind the line and gains 25 yards. Look at that, ain't college football. And then Dan Mullen, he gets on there and makes the same speech he made last year before the Alabama game about the 5-star players. He's just trying to use that as a recruiting tool. and I'm gonna take up for Joey Galloway. I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna let you go. Joey Galloway went to Ohio State. Plus, he's on the end of an Alabama ass whipping, so therefore he's wounded. I'll holler at you later, buddy.
Okay, man. These Bama fans are back. Thank you so much. Really good to hear from you. And Daryl is up next in Georgia. Hello, Daryl.
And they wonder why Gary Danielson and Vernon Lundquist hate on them. I mean, I think Nick Saban has already went out there and said, Bama fans, he said, do not go out there and start bragging. Don't. But didn't he say that? I could have swore I heard Saban say that. They just can't hit themselves, can they, Paul?
Well, Alabama fans have made this mistake before. It's not over yet, and I believe Alabama will survive, but I think the games are difficult.
They're one loss away and sitting right here next week.
You better believe it.
And the next one could be the Trout game. I mean, that's a game that Alabama plays really well against a big-time opponent, but not a big-time opponent. They don't play as well like with the Tennessee game.
I had someone in Tuscaloosa tell me recently they were less concerned about LSU than Mississippi State because they knew they would be ready for LSU.
Absolutely. And Mississippi State actually has a quarterback that can throw the football, and if Alabama still have a weakness, it is in their secondary, especially on the deep ball, no doubt about that. Hey, what's the problem with the playoff committee's poll? I don't see a problem with it.
You know, I think if you look at the top three, I'm in agreement on the top three. I think after that, you have a great debate. I'm not up in arms about Notre Dame. I think the problem with the Big 12 right now is that they didn't play anybody early, and the schedule is backloaded. I think if Baylor runs the table, it will be difficult to keep them out.
Probably so. I would disagree with Ohio State being up there. Tell me why Ohio State is the number one team.
Well, I'm not sure I understand that. To me, the one that I'm probably the most outraged about is Iowa. I don't get that. Iowa has, I think, played one decent non-conference game against Pittsburgh. They played Illinois State, Iowa State, and North Texas. And then they didn't. And then they haven't played anyone of consequence, nor will they in the Big Ten. They don't play. I mean, imagine this schedule. You don't get Ohio State, Michigan, or Michigan State. That's like being in the SEC and not getting Alabama, LSU, and Georgia.
Didn't Ohio State lose a coach off of that football team from last year? A pretty good coach, I think, assistant. I think they did.
I'll double check.
My point is, I'm going to tell you right now, you will find out. It's just a matter of time. We don't know yet because they haven't played nobody. I'm telling you right now, Ohio State will not win the national championship. They're not. I don't care who they are.
Oh, yeah, you talking about? Hold on. You talking about Ohio State? They lost Tom Herman to Houston. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Iowa.
When you lose a coach like that,
yeah.
You saw what happened to Georgia when Will Friend leaving with Bobo. What it did to our offensive line.
Well, to me, I compare it to what happened to Urban in 2009 when Dan Mullen, who was the offensive coordinator, left after the national championship and went to Mississippi State. And even though they were undefeated until the championship game in 2009, they were not the same team.
That is not the same football team that Ohio State had last year. I don't care what anybody says. They will get beat. It's just a matter of them finally playing somebody. Well, I'll let you go.
Well, I'll tell you where they're going to get beat. They're going to get beaten in the national semifinals. That's where they'll lose.
Probably. I did talk to, like I told you, the Coach Rick Monday night. You say he don't listen. It's funny how every time I talk to Coach Rick, he just makes headlines. Every friggin'
So what happened?
It just makes headlines.
I'm sorry I was not listening to Dog Talk on Monday night.
I asked him, I told him, I said, Coach, I said, Gordon, the season started, no doubt about it. The offense is supposed to be the strong point. The defense is supposed to be young. That's supposed to be kind of the weaker part of the football team. As we progress, I think you would agree that it's been actually the defense that's been the strong point. We cannot let Jeremy Pruitt walk. We cannot. And his response was, Jeremy Pruitt ain't going anywhere, and those that don't like it just need to get over.
Does he know, Daryl, that you are Daryl from the Finebaum show?
I don't know. But I loved his answer. He said Jeremy Pruitt ain't going nowhere, and those that don't like it just need to get over it. Hey, good to hear Jim coming back yesterday. Good to hear Chilton back on the air. See you, Paul.
Thank you. Good to hear from you. Lance is up next. Lance in Tennessee. Hey, Lance, happy birthday.
I appreciate you saying that, Paul. They don't need to hot cup of shit the hell up. Just because Georgia's season over, we got out here and break down every other team in the country. I mean, it gets on my nose. In the preseason, it was Mark Rick. Now, if they lost, they're talking about, we ain't got an indoor practice facility. Well, it's the administration. Well, hell, all that was a problem in the offseason. I just can't stand cheerleaders, and Daryl's a classic cheerleader. I mean, but let's just talk about Florida real quick, Paul, because I did say they would win the East. But the reason I thought they would win the East is I told you because I thought 5-3 would win the SEC East. I didn't think Florida would be this good, but I did think Will Greer would be the answer.
Yeah, I remember you said that. That is correct. I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking Florida was going to be great, but I did think Will Greer would be a star. Unfortunate for him. And I thought one thing that's helped Coach Mack, and I said this too, is that he could really just focus on offense because the defense was in place. And he did an outstanding job with his coaching staff. Doug Nussmeier and Chris Rump, having that Alabama experience. I mean, SEC experience on the coaching staff really matters. And I think that's paid off. Even though they're struggling right now, I really admire the coaching staff and what Coach Mack's done. I mean, you said unfortunate it was a home run hire, but after that you kind of backed off. And I'm just wondering what made you back off after saying that.
Well, I haven't backed off anything. I was concerned about the recruiting, but at the end, McElwain made up for the early misses. I think Will Muschamp had something to do with that, but that probably won't happen as much in the future. We'll talk to Bill Hancock coming up here in a few minutes. We'll get his take on the College Football Playoff Committee's second ranking. Can't wait to hear it. It's always must listen to. It's always insightful. It's always enlightening. We'll be right back.
Ever look?
Chance to play in 3 weeks in Indianapolis. Can't wait. Earl is up. Actually, Bill Hancock is about to join us in a minute, so we'll hold tight here. We've been talking about the college football playoff poll. It came out last night, second poll. We'll keep doing this until early December, and then it will finally be official. We'll talk more to you in a moment at 855-242-7285. So I think we're about to get Bill on board here. We're hoping. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's grab a call here before we get Bill. Earl is up next in Mississippi. Hey, Earl.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
I'm tired of that Georgia ass clown Darryl. He keeps talking about Ohio State for. They ain't won nothing since 1980 when they had Vince Doolin, Lindsey Scott, Usain Ballou, and what's called Herschel Walker. He needs to shut up.
And so do you. Anyway, well, good. Nothing like going from a great call like that to a quiet, sensitive man named Bill Hancock. He's the executive director of the College Football Playoff, and always good to visit with him on the day after. Bill, thank you very much. Always good to check in, and hope you've had a quiet day.
Good to hear you, Paul. I really don't know what to say.
Well, fortunately, the two of us were among the few people in America who heard what the guy said. So,
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. He wasn't talking to you, but we are, and we do want to get your reaction. Certainly, every week there's reaction, there's outrage, there's commentary, all of which you expect, I'm sure.
We do, because of the passion for college football, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Let's talk about some of the things that were said last night by Jeff Long, and then the reaction. I don't think there's a lot of quibbling about the top three, maybe even Notre Dame. I think you could put any number of 2 or 3 schools in there, but there has been quite a bit of conversation about Iowa. Let's start with the Hawkeyes. I know what the metrics say. What can you tell us about what was said inside that room?
I think in the best way I could describe what the committee discussed about Iowa was that Iowa has gotten the committee's attention. They are gaining an appreciation for Iowa, which is just continues to plug away week after week after week. Those four in that tier, that 5, 6, 7, 8 group, were really close, and the committee spent more time on that group than any other group this week.
And that's fair, and you know, I say outraged because we're reacting in the moment, Bill. If you take a deep breath, which some do, I don't, you know that a lot of this will work itself out. But yeah, you know what has been said, and the Big 12 seem you live out there, you understand it pretty well. But you know there are some people in the Big 12 who are very concerned that if nothing really changes, if Clemson wins out, which it will be favored to do, and Bama does, which it will be favored to do, and certainly Ohio State, and then you have Stanford and Notre Dame playing, and the winner of that will have a monster victory, then could the Big 12 champion, be it undefeated, get left out of the college football playoff?
If we've learned anything already this year, and if we learned anything last year, is that nothing really changes is an impossibility. Crazy things happen in this game, and we still have, 4 more weeks to go. So I'm telling you, and you know this, anything can happen.
Well, anything can happen, but you know, we do pay serious attention to this, and I know your committee pays serious attention to it. So you have to look at it as it falls, and you have to start going, okay, if this happens and that happens. But that is a concern, I think, or you don't think so?
We really don't. We just do not talk about what might happen next week or the week after or conference championship week. It's fruitless for us. Our charge is pretty easy. Rank them as you saw them to this point. And to this point, 5, 6, 7, 8 turned out to be Iowa, Baylor, Stanford, and Oklahoma State. So it's not, although they're close, for us, it's not complicated because we don't have to worry about what's coming up. You do, and writers do, and I get that, but we don't.
You may not, Bill, but those of us out here in the hinterlands look at it and start talking and being concerned, and I know you don't want what happened last year when we all felt like the committee had spoken, and then that last week came along, and there was at least in some circles a feeling of betrayal of the committee not really being honest. I don't want to relive that conversation. And in fairness, Art Briles is not. He was very calm last night and this morning when he spoke, but I don't know how somebody in the Big 12 couldn't be concerned, at least, whether you guys are or not.
Yeah, we're lucky in that all we have to do is rank them as we saw them, and I have to call on Yogi Berra. It ain't over till it's over.
Do this for us, Bill. I mean, I know we've talked about this many, many times, but this year, because there was not as bright a light on this committee as it was a year ago, what exactly happens in that room, and how do they reach the conclusions that they do?
Yeah, about 3 steps happen. First of all, they create a group of teams, and it's usually 35, 36, from which then they begin to pare that group down. And the first thing they do in the pairing is they come up with PARE, pairing. They come up with 6 teams that they evaluate together. They rank those, and the top 3 go into the rankings at 1, 2, 3. Then they get another 3 teams to go with the 3 holdovers. They rank those, and those become 4, 5, 6, and so on until they get through the top 25. And then they sit back and say, okay, let's look at this again. Do we need to do any revoting? How do we really feel about 3, 4, 5? And this time, a lot of the revotes centered on that group that was so close, which was 5, 6, 7, 8. And they look at the whole list, 1 to 25, and discuss whether they need to reconsider any of them. And that's how it works. And they really, it is so true. And one of the really great things about this is that they start with a clean sheet of paper every week. They don't have to be influenced by last week's rankings. And that's one of the great things about having this human committee as opposed to the old polls that we had for, 75 years.
Well, Bill, that is true, but it's kind of hard to miss the rankings when they're on every television set you have on in your room.
You're talking about the AP and the coaches?
No, I'm talking about your own poll. I mean, last week, if you're watching a game, you're going to see where people are. I mean, I say that jokingly, of course, but let me ask you about something Jeff Long said last night in relation to Stanford, which is a team a lot of people are focused on, because if Stanford wins the Big 12 and has survived Notre Dame, they're going to move up. He said that Stanford, that they were cutting. These are my words. You can insert what he said, but they're basically looking past Stanford's loss to Northwestern a little bit, because the game was at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It was 11 or 12 o'clock in Chicago, in Evanston. Can you enlighten me on why that would be a factor?
Yeah, I can enlighten you on the fact that it's a really good question, Paul, as always, insightful and appropriate. But what happens is the committee considers many factors. They might consider whether it might have been raining, and was rain an equalizer between two teams that might not have been equal. And so they would be silly not to consider the fact that the game was early. But I personally don't believe it was a significant factor in the committee's discussion. Did they know about it? Yeah. Did they hang their hats on it? No, not really.
Because you know it better than anyone, or as well as anyone. I mean, games now start at the strangest times. Alabama started a game against Ole Miss, which they lost at 8:15 local time, didn't end until past midnight. Of course, your own college football semifinal game starts pretty late, as we all know. But I was just trying to understand, in today's world where teams do travel and games are starting at every imaginable time, why that was such a big deal. And you're telling me it's obviously not.
No, a bigger deal in that game is, frankly, is that Northwestern played really well, and Northwestern's better than we all thought they might have been before the season started. To me, that's the bigger take out of that.
Is there some message in all this that two of the top four, they just happen to be two of the biggest names in college football history, Alabama and Notre Dame, both have one loss. Other teams ranked do not. In the past, we tended to think if you lost a game, you were in trouble. The committee seems to be saying that is not the case anymore. I'd like to hear your words on that.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day about branding, and the branding has nothing to do with this. And the fact is, anybody who saw that Alabama LSU game that knows football knows that Alabama is a really good team. Mm-hmm. Just look at that defensive line, and people just know that Alabama's a really good team. Notre Dame has played a good schedule. Probably, we were laughing the other day about people like to talk about good losses. Notre Dame probably has the best loss you could almost have, a 2-point loss to the number one team. The committee doesn't dwell a lot on good losses, by the way, but if you were looking for one, that would be one.
So if you're a football person, which most people in this room are, and you watch the LSU-Alabama game, it's hard. I mean, I would have liked to have heard Barry Alvarez and Tom Osborne and other coaches in that room walk out of the meeting room after watching that game and try to think anyone else was better than Alabama. But Alabama is number 2, which is fine. They did lose, and their loss doesn't look nearly as good right now as Notre Dame's loss, and Clemson has not lost, and they have a win over the number 4 team, although Alabama has a win over the number 2 team. So how do you figure out 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this type of situation?
Oh, I think Clemson has just played so well and is so good on both sides of the ball. I think the committee appropriately put them at number 1, and I don't really hear a lot about whether Clemson that Clemson-Alabama, I think most people think the committee got it right, and the most important people think they got it right, and that's the committee. Ohio State got their work ahead of them. They got Michigan and Michigan State. We're going to see how they are, but right now the committee looking at their overall body of work, but more importantly, just looking at how they played and what they've done on the field. I think the committee feels very, very good about them at 3. And Notre Dame, again, played good schedule, done well. The victory at Temple that people kind of discounted, could have discounted before the season, now looks like a darn nice victory for them. Mm-hmm. So I think the committee got it right. And I think what you have to ask is, okay, who would you put up at number 4 instead of Notre Dame? Who would you put at number 3 instead of Ohio State?
It wasn't difficult for me. I had Oklahoma State, but we'll save that for another time. Listen, Bill, always appreciate your time on the day after. It's must-listen to radio and television. Thank you. We'll talk next week, I hope.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.
Okay. Bill Hancock, you very soothing man in the middle of a storm. We'll take a break and get to your phone calls in a few minutes at 855-242-7285.
Truck driver.
Sack of clothes, free and easy down the road I go.
We welcome you back to our show. It's been a fun show, and we'll continue with more calls in a minute. Rick is next up in L.A. Hey, Rick, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Paul. Thank you. Hello,
Thank you.
fellas, and great show as always.
Thank you.
Hey, Paul, is it Lance's birthday today?
It is.
Well, Lance, I'll be giving you a call, but a happy birthday to you. And your present was the Florida Gators has had one terrific year. Paul, I'd just like to give you my opinion on 2 teams.
Sure.
About this playoff thing. I'll start in my backyard, Stanford. Now, they got Oregon, Cal, the rivalry, Notre Dame. Now, Oregon, though they have no defense, Adams is finally healthy, and they're scoring points. And I am really interested in this game because I think no one's talking about it. This could be, if Stanford don't play their A game, Oregon's going to put points.
No, I think you're right. Oregon is a better team than they were earlier. And, you talk about the Oregon-Stanford game, almost every year for the last 5 years. This has been one of the premier games of the year in college football. This year, I don't think there are too many people east of the Rockies who even know this game is going on.
Yes, it's been our LSU-Alabama the last years.
No doubt.
The winner represents the conference. And, again, with Oregon having Adams healthy, look out. And then get the Cal, that's their rivalry, and then Notre Dame. So here's the thing, my opinion on that, being out in my backyard. Stanford, I believe, is the last hope for the Pac-12. And if they take one more ding anywhere, I believe not the Big 12, it will be the Pac-12 that'll be locked out. I think
Utah is number 10, but I'm not sure.
I don't see it, Paul.
Yeah,
I don't see it. I'll be honest with you. I respect them, but I'll tell you what. I think
I'm with you on that, and this is coming from a league that many people said would eclipse the SEC. Had already Colin Cowherd went on a 2-year rant about how much better the Pac-12 was than the SEC. I don't know where Colin is these days, but
I myself even overrated them. But we're good. We're capable of beating each other. Look at Washington State missing a field goal, knocking off Stanford.
Yeah,
we're good, but no. Quality-wise,
they should have won that game too.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. So my thinking is Stanford's the last hope, and if they get ding anywhere, they're out, because I'll take a Big 12 undefeated team. In fact, I'll go on record, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat my crow on your show. I think they'll even take a one loss. If Oklahoma could run the table, they'll take a one loss. I
agree with you. I think if Oklahoma wins this weekend and wins out. By the way, I don't I think Baylor is still the best shot from the Big 12. I think this, I mean, I know Oklahoma State has a favorable schedule, but I don't see how I don't see any way they're going to survive it.
I agree with you that. And as far as Notre Dame's concerned, look at Wake Forest, that should be a win. Boston College, it's at Fenway Park. That is a rival to them. They've been a thorn in Notre Dame's side in the past. Anything can happen there. And look, then they got to come to Stanford, and that'll be a ding-dong battle.
Rick, I hate to run. I'm not sure Notre Dame can survive either. We argue about all this stuff. It'll take care of itself, but why not argue now?
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And now, for Geico's edition of Stuff Found in Your Car, we go inside your side door pocket.
Hello, yes, the crumpled receipt with gum in it. From your anniversary dinner, you sprang for expensive wine, your server was Beth. That dinner was a couple $100. Money you could get back if you switched to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars on your car insurance. I bet you'd save that receipt. Frame it even. But really, where did I go wrong? Was it the corkage fee?
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today.
We're going to have to change the way we think about our finances.
The Regions Next Step project is helping real customers like Patrick and his wife Stacy confidently take their next step in life.
We definitely need to come together as a team.
My Green Insights is helping the couple get on the same page financially.
The budget calculator I really liked.
Watch real Next Step stories and plan your own at regions.com/Patrick.
We're finally working together to take our next step.
Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC, paid appearance by an actual Regions customer telling his real story.
It's a football Sunday doubleheader. First in Green Bay, the Packers face the Lions.
Got it! Touchdown!
Then at MetLife Stadium, the Giants host the undefeated Patriots. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio.